Hello and welcome to Thoughtfully Fit Thursday. I'm Darcy Luoma, and it's so good to be with you today. And I want to introduce my guest, Sarah Fruehling, who is amazing. And Sarah, I thank you for joining us today. And maybe you could just start by introducing yourself and telling us a little about your story and how you got to where you are today.
Thanks, Darcy. It's a joy to be here. I've loved watching Thoughtfully Fit Thursday, and I'm really inspired by your Thoughtfully Fit gym. And I have clients that I'm sending to you, so I'm sure there are listeners who are as excited as we are. I am a small town girl from the Midwest, and so my story as a coach, sometimes I just feel like, how is this even my life? Because I'm having so much fun. My first career actually was I was a mental health therapist. And I didn't know then what I know now, which is my focus is in cognitive behavioral therapy, strength-based work, and positive psychology really set me up differently as a professional executive coach than I think a lot of coaches. A lot of people come in with business degrees. I was a unique private practice, self-employed therapist. So I was an entrepreneur in my first career as well. And my story is kind of interesting. Do you want to hear it?
I do.
So I would say it was probably about 2015. A friend of mine who's a multimillionaire who I'd gone to college with had contacted me, was going to be back in our little small hometown. His father had passed away, which was sad. But he asked, could we get together for lunch? And we sat together and had this really great conversation, probably had lunch, sat and talked for 2 hours. At the end of it, Darcy, he said to me, oh my God, this is the best conversation I've had in a decade. You should become a professional executive coach, because I have half a dozen, maybe a dozen friends who are multimillionaires who crave a logical, reasonable, feminine perspective. They want a confidential sounding board, and what you have is very different. What I learned was everybody has something. As a therapist, you know that. You see all the challenges, and I felt very called, very proud of the work I was doing, where I was healing kind of one person, one family, one couple at a time. Now, I feel like the playing field is just exponentially bigger because I'm getting to work with founders, owners of sometimes huge global corporations and entrepreneurs who own their own companies. And I get to amplify their voices and in that way live out my core value, my favorite kind of ROI, which is creating positive ripples of impact. Mm-hmm. So my clients are doing that, and I get to help them do that even more powerfully. A differentiator is because of my background, where I've worked with all kinds of not only mental health issues, life issues, but also mental health illness. What people don't realize is that when you're incredibly successful for a business owner, you also have all those things happening in your life as well. So having someone with expertise who can come in, not with a therapist perspective, but all the knowledge and leverage all that along with my obsession with, I'm a brain nerd, so I'm interested in neuro-linguistic programming, leveraging how our brain works already, positive psychology, strength-based learning. Bring all of that, and the coaching perspective really catapults people forward in a very safe, confidential, kind of sacred space.